This episode is sponsored by Conjure Tea. Founded by chef Shania Thomas Floyd, Conjure Tea taps into her background as a pastry chef to bring a unique, delicious approach to tea. Look no further than their tea offerings to find delicious blends from Lunar, an herbal tisane with blueberry, lavender, and vanilla, to Decadence, an Earl Grey blend with rose, strawberry, and cocoa nibs. The thing I love about Conjure Tea is that they're bringing unique, delicious flavors that I've never had before. My favorite of theirs is Purge Me, an organic bancha green tea with pineapple, coconut, and so much more. It has the flavor you want from a green tea with the unique and delicious combination of fruit-filled ingredients with a natural detoxifying quality. The company has been kind enough to give 15% off your first online order to all Steep Conversations listeners by using code STEEP15 on conjuretea.com. That's promo code STEEP15 to get 15% off your first order at CONJURETEA.com.
I've dug a grave before. It sucks.
Wait, have you actually? Is that true?
Chopping down a tree. Blows.
Hold on.
Bagging groceries.
Hold on. If you think we're going to go past you digging a grave, you are sadly mistaken. You for real dug a grave?
Yeah.
What?
You never dug a grave? I saw the first two Lord of the Rings. I didn't see the third. What? You're not caught up?
Okay, so you're a big Lord of the Rings fan, it sounds like.
It's the best.
Okay, so let me be clear because I think this upsets people. I did not see the third because I didn't like the first two. That's not at all what happened. What happened was the second one came out. I had not seen the first. Mm-hmm. And my friend was like, tonight we got to go see the second Lord of the Rings. I was like, I would, but you should go without me. I haven't seen the first. She goes, sit down. I was like, what? She's like, we're watching it. And long story short, it ended up in such a thing where I watched the first one, had about a 45-minute break, and then went and watched the second one. I thought they were both very good. But after that, I was just it was a big experience.
Yeah.
And I was just very worn out. And I was like, whew, that was a lot like that. Because there's a lot to remember if you've not read the books. There are a lot of nuances in those books that they did a great job capturing in the movies. But I'm like, wait, okay, so that, and that person's okay, they're that, and this is a that, and they can do this, but this is a that. But then Samwise, so he's not good at anything. And then they have to do, I'm like trying to follow all this. And I'm like, yikes. And then afterward, I was like, I need homework to do. This was a lot. And then I heard the third was amazing, and I did not see it because I was still intimidated by the first two.
You've had 19 years.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
I know.
You had COVID. That was the first thing I did. As soon as they're like, NBA shutting down, I'm like, well, I'm going to watch Lord of the Rings.
Sure.
All three.
No more Trae Young for you. You're going Lord of the Rings. Yeah.
But I did the same thing during COVID. I was like, my favorite comic book when I was a kid was The Death of Superman. I thought it was the coolest and most interesting shit when I was a kid.
He dies?
Yeah. Okay, in the 90s, they killed Superman.
Okay, so I did not know that.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
And it was a big thing. It was like a national story. It was like people really bought comics again. It was like SNL sketches about it. It was a big deal. Like, holy shit, they really killed Superman.
Yeah.
And I read that. And then I was bored during COVID. I was like, whatever happened after they killed Superman?
Well, you can't continue, I don't think.
So they really committed to it. They were just like, Superman's dead. That's the end of Superman. And they did not release any new comics for months. And everybody was just like sad.
Well, that's really sad. He's supposed to be kind of, other than Kryptonite, kind of be the guy, invincible.
Then they relaunched, and it was called like Superman Funeral for a Friend or whatever. And then there was 3 guys claiming to be Superman reincarnated, and you have to pick out which one. It's a very interesting story. It's like, if you love comics, I love it. Some of it's corny, but I just think it. And I was like, why have I never finished that? It was my favorite when I was a kid. Now I'm 30. And so
you could
I took a 20-year break, and then I was like, I want to see what happened at that. How did that start? That's only half the story, was him dying. And then they pick it up with the 3 people who claim to be the reincarnated Superman. It's great.
This is a stupid question. I'm going to get roasted for this. Is there such thing as digital comic books? Like, do you have to, Can you
This feels like a commercial.
this sounds dumb. I know that. Can you
Is
like?
there such a thing as digital?
Like, can you read it on like a Kindle?
Well, let
or
me spill the tea.
do you read it on a? Can you read it on a Kindle?
I got my Kindle in my backpack right now.
And you can have comics on there.
Yeah.
So I was not a comic book reader, but for me, I would feel like part of reading comics is that you go and you buy the comic book and you get to have that and you get to look at it. Like there's a tactile aspect of comics that I'd be like, oh, I want to have that one.
Right.
That's gone now.
No, I still like the comic books. I like the graphic novels and then the single issue. Like I like the paper and all that. Just like with books. It's just like I have some on my Kindle and then I have some books I like to hold and all that.
I don't read Kindle books.
Oh, I love it.
I like the smell of an old book.
Smell?
Is that weird?
I'm not aware of a smell. Well, you ought to sniff my Kindle a couple times.
I will sniff your Kindle.
Let me tell you, it smells like popcorn and a Christmas candle.
Oh, are you? Yeah, okay. Well,
That's good.
Before we keep going, for those listening at home,
hey,
cheers to you, sir. Welcome to the pod, Caleb Synan.
I love it. Let's spill that tea.
Well, before we spill it, let's tell them about it. So at home, for those steeping at home, we are drinking Peach Cobbler Bourbon Blend. It is a black tea. It is delicious. We're drinking Peach Cobbler, Caleb, because you are from Georgia.
I'm a Georgia peach.
You're a Georgia peach. So I want to give you some peach.
Well, I'm glad we picked that. There's a lot of history in Georgia we didn't go with. You know?
I wanted to, so I had,
we went with peach.
I had Confederacy leaves and I wasn't sure, let's steep them.
Yeah.
But for those steeping at home, it's a black tea. Do it at 212. This one I really only did steep it for 5 minutes and add a little honey because honey also feels like a Georgia vibe. A little bit of honey.
Oh, yeah, honey and peach cobbler.
Why don't you talk like that of your own volition? I would love to talk like that.
Well, if I have a few drinks, I get southerner quicker.
I've never caught an accent on you.
For some reason in New York, people I'll be like, hey, how you doing? They'll go, where are you from? Kentucky?
New Yorkers will do that if you're from the Bronx. They're like, where are you from?
In California, people don't really seem to think I have one.
I don't feel like you had one. And so for the listeners, I met you by driving down to San Diego. I did not know who you were. I messaged our mutual friend, shout out Jimmy Calloway, lovely boy.
Hell yeah.
I messaged him and I was like, hey, this guy Caleb reached out to me. Who is he? Is he cool? And Jimmy goes, it surprises me that you two are not friends already. And I was like, oh, okay. He's like, he's the nicest. And then the drive down, I was like, you're the absolute most delightful person I'd driven down with. Well, I'm telling you this, and I say, not to butter your bread, but I say this, when you got out of the car, I turn to Jess and I go, he's great. What a nice guy. And then Jess was a little too enthusiastic about it. I was at a 7. You're a really nice guy and I enjoyed the ride. Just it was it's the best person to be in a car with. And I was like, he's the best person. What about I'm in the car with you a lot. She just took it a step too far.
Right.
And then of course, when we had the shows at the club afterwards, she was like, oh my God, Caleb was amazing. And then she goes, but you were also funny. And I was like, we're done.
Well, it's hard to be, she sees you do a million sets. She hears you come up with jokes on the fly.
Sure.
That's a lot to expect. And I get to swoop in. It's like seeing a movie when you haven't seen the trailer. You're like, whoa, I didn't see that coming.
I want to do that more.
Yeah. I hate trailers. I think they're immoral. They steal joy from innocent children.
Listen, there are a lot of things that we could take a stand against, but trailers feels like the one to take a stand against.
Yes. Well, people, who's at fault? The trailer makers, because they want you to pick their trailer and they want you to go, ooh, look at how good this trailer is. But what they do is they get the gig, but they ruin the thing. They ruin it.
A lot of trailers give away literally the entire
whole thing. And it's like, well, I'm glad you got a house and you're a trailer maker, but it's not worth it. I don't think it's worth it. One of the all-time trailer hoaxes was Syriana. I don't know if you remember this.
George Clooney.
George Clooney with a beard.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
No one did, except me.
Sure.
Because the trailer, it was Middle Eastern intrigue, explosions, a betrayal, international espionage, all that shit. It looked badass. It looked awesome.
I wanted to see it.
I went and saw it. And one thing happens in that movie, and it was in the trailer. One car explodes. And the rest of it is people in the rooms going, are we sure about this? Do you know about this? Have you heard about this?
Well, had they heard
What's
about it?
going on?
Did they know about it?
It was that Bourne shaky cam, and it was like, where's Kevin? You don't know where Kevin is? Where is he? It's just nothing.
That's 2 hours of that?
What a piece of shit.
let me be clear, I love George Clooney and I love George Clooney movies, but like 2 different George Clooney movies that led me astray in dramatic fashion from trailers. One was called Michael Clayton.
I like Michael Clayton.
Yes, but the trailer makes it seem like it's a thriller. Michael Clayton was a relatively slow-paced, kind of, slow burn movie, which is fine. But I was like, I expected a little more fun. And then I watched The American.
Yep.
And man, nothing happens in The American.
Nothing happens in The Descendants.
The Descendants.
Nothing happens in Up in the Air. And Up in the Air, he flies around and texts people. That's all that happens in Up in the Air.
I loved Up in the Air.
He's like, I'm going to try and get Diamond Medallion. And I'm like, you're living my life without stand-up. That doesn't sound good.
No.
That sounds like shit.
Do you ever think when you're at the airport, you're like, I'm crushing this?
Oh, man. Once I got AirPods, too. Oh, God. Show up in my Adidas tracksuit. Ready.
The one you're wearing right now.
Yes.
So there's a weird comment and a lot of people don't understand. So I will not fly in joggers.
Right.
Because one time I flew in joggers and I was leaving the plane and I was 2 seats ahead of where I was and realized my wallet had fallen out of the joggers.
Zip pocket, dude.
I don't have joggers with zip pockets.
Well, do that. Just do that.
That's why I don't wear them. Jess always goes, you don't get comfy for the plane? I was like, I feel fine in jeans. Because
you don't.
Losing my wallet is like a very big anxiety inducer for me.
You'll keep your wallet, but you'll lose your soul. You can't be flying in jeans.
I don't love flying in jeans.
Life is short, man. Get zipper pockets. I put my wallet right here, zip it up, easy peasy. You know about the Delta Lounge? I just found out about this shit.
I don't fly Delta, but hit me with it.
Whoa! I thought I knew stuff. And then I was flying with, me and Michael Albanese were in the same city. And he was like, hey, I got a guest pass for the Delta Lounge if you want to go before the flight, wherever you're flying. We probably got an hour or 2. And I was like, dope.
I don't even know what it is.
Free
I would
food,
say yes.
Free drinks, no announcements, no hustle and bustle. It's the greatest thing in the world. You don't even feel like you're flying.
How do you get into do you need to be like a super flyer to get into the lounge?
You either have to like have the Delta credit card or pay $500 a year or whatever. Or
Pass on the second one, but the first one I'm open to.
Yeah, but it's just the best. And it makes you feel like you're like, oh man, this isn't even what it's like to be rich. This is just what it's like to be treated somewhat decently at the airport. Dude, I go before the flight and after the flight. I eat till the plane boards.
Sure, as
when I fly to the city, I go right out the plane. I go eat again, and it happened overnight. I still don't make any more money than I made last year, but now I walk by those people eating at a fucking airport Chipotle
Chili's to go. Yeah,
and I'm just like, these fools,
these idiots,
fucking morons.
Do you know what Crystal is?
The hamburgers?
Yeah.
Little yeah.
Yeah. I haven't eaten meat in a long time, but when I used to, if I were in an airport that had Crystal, I would go out of my way to go get it. Because that is just like not...
Dude, that is the last thing I thought you were going to say.
I know that, but as a New Yorker, we didn't have that. So I was like, oh, I kind of want that. So I'd go out of my way to get something like that. And a slightly nicer example of that is at O'Hare, there's a Frontera. And I'm like, I love the torta, the breakfast torta there. So I'll go out of my way to go get that.
Well, I already eat like such dog shit on the road. I'm like eating chicken fingers at a comedy club and drinking beer. So I'm like, when I'm in the lounge, like that's why I always do that. Cause I'm like, I'm already going to eat shit. I'm already going to eat Crystal Burgers at 2 a.m.
Sure.
After the show tonight. So I'm like, let me get a nice arugula salad and a nice piece of salmon.
Arugula salad.
I'm going to try and cancel out this unhealthy comedy eating I'm going to do all weekend.
Do you ever work out when you're on the road?
A little prison workout here and there.
Yeah.
But I don't, there's something about it I just don't like. I know you need to do it to stay healthy and live.
You're talking about working out. Generally working out you don't like.
I think it's, I feel about it the same way people like kiss and tell or like, I'd rather have someone watch me take a shit than work out. I think it's I think it's so embarrassing.
I just want to be clear. So you're having some stomach issues in this hypothetical scenario.
Yes.
And you're telling someone, feel free to sit here and watch me go through this versus I'm going to lift some weights and you can watch me do that.
Lifting weights is so embarrassing. I don't know how people post gym selfies and do that in front of people. Sometimes that's what I like about hotel gyms is no one's ever in there. No one. I don't think I've ever seen another human in the hotel gym. If somebody comes in, I'm leaving. You will not watch me work out. No one will.
Is it just a little gift for you?
I don't know. It's something you got to do to live. And I just don't want, I don't want any evidence of it. It's so embarrassing. You ever done a squat and been like, God.
What's the rest of that sense? Have I ever done a squat? I've done a squat.
Isn't it the worst?
When I was in shape, I still didn't like working out in front of people, but like, I was like, man, I feel good after I work out. And now at this point in my life, because of like COVID and whatever, now I'm like, man, like I feel good after I work out, but you know what feels better? Eating a cupcake.
Oh yeah. Well, now I'll just do both. I'll be like, all right, I'm going to work out for like 2 hours.
2 hours?
And then I'm going to eat a pizza.
Hold on.
Because the workout makes me feel good and the pizza makes me feel good.
Who is working out? I don't know what to do for 2 hours. In a gym?
You figure stuff out.
Tried a rowing machine once. I was like, I'll just do this for an hour.
No, yeah, I love the rowing.
You can't do that for an hour. I did that for about 12 minutes and I was gassed.
You can trick your brain.
Go on.
My brain is so easy to trick. As soon as I heard that like working out was mental, I was like, oh, my dumbass brain doesn't know what's about to hit it.
And then you trick yourself.
When your brain tells you you're done, you're not, because your brain's stupid. Your brain
Jess
is
tells
so
me that a
dumb.
lot.
Yeah. My brain is way dumber than yours.
No, Jess will literally often be like, your brain? Stupid.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's weird.
Like you're supposed to date a dumb guy.
Yeah, okay.
You know?
Interesting.
That's some girl boss shit. My dumbass man is a fucking
idiot. Jess sometimes will look at me and be like, you're dumb. And I'm like, sure. And she goes, but I love it. And I'm like, oh, okay. So there's that little hinge. If I'm just dumb and she didn't love it, I'd be like, you should probably leave.
Oh, yeah. I've told all my girlfriends to break up with me before.
I once tried to make a case to Jess as to why I thought she could do better. and the worst part is she goes, convincing.
Yeah. Oh, I do that all the time where they'll say something and I'll go, well, you should break up with me or something. I don't know.
You don't offer it.
No, I'll just be like, well, if that's, if I felt that way about you, I like sometimes I can't believe how their sentences end. They'll say something and I'll go, wow, she's about to break up with me. And then they'll just go, so I just wanted you to know that. And I'm like, what? That was the worst thing I've ever heard. You're going to keep going?
I would be like, wrap it up. Wrap it up.
You convinced me I suck just now.
I don't want to date me. After that?
The key is to be playful.
That's all we do.
So you fart.
Yeah, for sure.
Fart, you tell.
100%. Like, let's go. Let's make it happen. We play fast and loose in this household.
Right.
I'll tell you.
I like it.
I think it was like 2 weeks ago she came back and she goes, I was depressed today, so I bought 4 plants. I was like, what? I was like, where are we going to put those? She goes, I don't know, with my sadness. And I was like, oh, okay, so outside then. Outside. I don't get a lot of say in the decor of our house. So when she's like, I'm buying plants, great.
Well,
I got to choose this couch. This was the only thing I got to choose.
Good choice.
Thank you.
Good choice.
And the coffee table.
You can't see this if you're watching, but there's a Scarface poster right there. And there's a St. Pauli's girl, a neon beer sign.
The thing is, we couldn't find a smaller size of that sign, so it takes up the entire wall.
It does take up the whole wall, but it's facing the other way.
I know, it's odd. It's odd. And then we have General Lee over there. We got a picture of General Lee.
General Lee.
Just, in the spirit of the pod today.
Oh, yeah.
General Lee.
That's always what blows me away. I mean, going over to somebody's house and you're like, you thought you knew them. And you get to their place and you're like, oh, you have a portrait of Robert E. Lee on your wall.
Actually true? You've actually seen that?
Dude, that's very common in this. Way more common. Someone in the family. It's not always like, there's every family has your like conservative and liberal or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's something we're just like, gee. And then you were like, okay, we're entertaining this year. And we're going to leave that up. Yeah, I'm just like, wow.
Are you ready?
The Newly Friend game?
Are you ready for the Newly Friend game?
Oh, I was born ready, dude.
The Newly Friend game is like the Newlywed game, except we are friends. I'm going to ask you a question. You're going to write down your answer. I'm going to write down what I think you're going to say, see if we get it right. And then we're going to do a question for me. We're going to both write down our answers and see if we match. I'm going to do the same question for each of us this week. You have a podcast called Canceled.
Yes.
In honor of Canceled, my question for you is, if you could cancel one fictional character, who do you cancel? Any fictional character.
Fiction's the one that's not true.
No, it has to be exclusively. It has to be a person that you have to see every day.
Now I'm just really having trouble knowing who's real. Now I'm realizing I don't know which stories are true and which are not.
Well, I mean, if you were like canceling like Harry Potter, for example, you could cancel him.
He's fake.
He's fake. He's a fakester.
Yeah, Harry Potter's not real.
No. Well, in some people's hearts he is.
Oh, I have an answer. I'm going to write it down now.
Okay. Okay.
Are you ready?
All right. Flip your board on 3, 2, 1. Who'd you do? Hannibal Lecter. That's a great show. I wrote Walter White. Talk to me.
From Breaking Bad. I've seen that.
Yes. Okay. So Hannibal Lecter. Why?
So he eats people. And
right, straightforward. Yeah.
That is not good. It is not good. My dad likes Hannibal Lecter. My dad's a preacher.
And he likes Hannibal Lecter.
He loves anything with Hannibal.
Has he seen all the, Red Dragon? And yeah.
Loves them all. And it's just because Anthony Hopkins is such a good actor that you forget. I mean, he's a bad person.
Did your dad watch the show Hannibal?
Probably. I haven't asked him yet, but
ask him. I'm curious. Because
I've heard that's good.
I haven't seen it, but I love Silence of the Lambs. I enjoyed Red Dragon. That's a good answer, Hannibal Lecter. Yeah. Why do we are all fine with the fact that he eats people?
Well, he's smart.
True.
There's all these stereotypes that cannibals are wild and crazy. Like in King Kong, they're beating drums and they're like shoving stuff in your fingernails and like. And Hannibal seems to be a very precise cannibal.
He's a beloved cannibal.
Yeah, beloved cannibal. And people can't get enough of that guy. It's really strange.
Because I will admit that I'm one of those people who I enjoy it. Right. I enjoy the Hannibal Lecter stuff. Okay. All right. So we're going to do the same question, but now it's for me who I would cancel.
Oh, okay.
I don't think you're going to get it.
Oh, I know I'm not. Here we go.
So flip your board in 3, 2, 1.
Boom.
Oh, that's a great one. Okay,
so couldn't remember his name.
Caleb wrote Logan Roy. Well, he wrote Succession Dad, but he meant Logan Roy, which is a great one. We're on the same network.
He's not nice to his kids. He's a bad dad.
He's a terrible father.
Horrible dad. He tells his kids to fuck off.
He's like, fuck off.
All the time. That's a good Logan Roy.
Thank you. I actually think the worst person on that show, and I will happily debate this with people, the worst person on that show is Shiv.
Shiv's bad. She should be canceled.
She should very much be canceled. So should Logan. The person I wrote down was Larry David in Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Should be canceled.
Larry David in every episode is almost exclusively in the wrong in every single episode and does crazy stuff.
Well, he's in the right in theory, but in practice, he is absurdly wrong.
Yeah. And so I'm like, why do we all, and full transparency, I don't watch Curb. I don't love Curb. I've seen Curb, but I don't love Curb. But anytime someone tells me oh my God, this great episode where Larry does blank, I'm like, yeah, that's not what Larry did. Not great. The second person I wrote, this is a very personal grudge I have anytime we watch this show.
I've not seen this.
Okay. So there's a show called Ozark. I'm going to tell you something. I'm not giving anything away. The bulk of the show has nothing to do with the character named Jonah. It is Jason Bateman's son. He does not play into a lot of the show. But I will tell you, and it's probably irrational, and Jess can attest to this, anytime he comes on screen, I find him so excruciatingly irritating. He could say anything. He'd be like, hey, Mom, can I have some water? And I'll look at Jess like, he's an adult. Get your own glass of water. Yeah. Like I get so frustrated with this character. He could say anything. He's like, hey, I saved a dog from a fire. And I'm like, the dog could have gotten out on its own. like, how about you sit down and shut your mouth?
I would love to hate him too. So I'm going to watch this show.
There's another show that I don't think a lot of people watched called Your Honor. It was on Showtime. It had Bryan Cranston, and his son was just like, truly every possible decision that you don't want to make, he continually made. The show is about how he accidentally hits a kid with his car.
Ooh.
And the kid is the mobster's son. And our kid's father is a judge.
Whoa.
So it's like a real crazy thing. But every time the judge says something to this kid, the kid goes, sure thing, and does the exact opposite. He's like, don't go back to the scene of the crime. He's like, I won't, Dad. And then he goes back to the scene of the crime. He's like, don't talk to the family. And then he starts dating the guy he killed sister. And I'm like, this kid is the worst.
Let's cancel his ass.
I wish.
We need to start canceling kids. I'm sick of all these adults getting canceled.
Cancel them.
Let's nip it in the bud.
Child actors, cancel them all.
Yeah. I'm sick of that shit.
Kirk Cameron, let's cancel him.
Yeah.
I know he's not fictional, but I'm good for a cancellation on Kirk.
He's getting there. He'll be fake soon.
Who, Kirk?
Yeah.
That reminds me of that. Have you heard that theory? Do you know who Andrew WK is?
Yeah.
Have you heard that theory that Andrew WK was played by, is a character that's been played by two different men?
What? No.
Okay. So if you look at pictures of Andrew WK from
my God.
10, 15 years ago, and you look at pictures of him now, it does not at all look like the same person.
No one does.
And so
no one looks like the same person.
Listen, people say that I am aging in reverse. People say I'm looking younger and younger by the day. I'm Benjamin Button.
I see it.
Because you're on the road a lot. I feel like being on the road, like traveling out, because I used to travel all the time. It feels a little bit like it ages me.
Yeah, it's not good. We're not supposed to be in the sky, and we're not supposed to be switching time zones. We're not supposed to be changing, I think, the pressure in our heads.
Is that a thing?
Your ears are popping all the time. That's not how I don't think that's how it's supposed to be.
No one tells you when you're thinking about doing comedy that it will involve some of the things that it ends up involving.
Yeah.
Like no one goes, oh, you thinking about doing comedy? Do you know what a comedy condo is? Like no one.
Oh, boy.
Like when you were, I'm trying to remember because I think you've told me this before, but your dad was a preacher, which to me feels like already you got to see someone. I hope this isn't taken the wrong way. Performing, it's somewhat of a performance.
Right, you're in front. You're on a stage.
You're on a stage. You're in front of people. It's your job to bring the energy to them and inspire them. I'm not saying all comics inspire, but it's the same realm. So you grew up watching that. Did you then go, I'm going to be a comedian, and then go right after, okay, and then I'm fine being on the road and eating pizza in a Motel 6?
Well, I was so pumped to, it's so, and this is hard to explain because it also sounds a little braggy, I guess, but like as soon as I didn't have a job, it's also like I didn't have my own hotel room until I did stand up. Why would I?
Yeah, I don't know why you would.
You know? And then the joy of having your own hotel room, it feels so cool. I feel like James Bond. I love it. It's just a cool feeling. So I don't understand when comedians complain. I mean, it's taxing on your body just to travel, but
sure.
I love it. The first time I remember Rob Hayes, who's the first comedian I ever met, texted me. He was like, you get a hotel. Like it was the first time I ever had a hotel. He was like, dude, you don't even know. It's the greatest.
Oh my God, really? Was it a nice hotel or was it like
it was a shitty hotel? But I just never had one to myself. Never felt so cool. You feel so important. Yeah, I love it. But I mean, I don't want to work. I want to stay in hotels and fly around and do stand-up. You know? What I think is funny is, in my experiences knowing you are actually a pretty hard worker. So you're like, I don't want to work, but like you do work. You do 2 different podcasts. You're touring a lot. You just recorded your half hour for Comedy Central. Everyone look for it. I'm looking right down the barrel. Look for it. Caleb Synan, Comedy Central. I would argue that you work harder than a lot of people. Yeah, but like the definition of work, like what is the definition of work? I don't do it, so I'm not sure. Doing a podcast is a thing. It's certainly not taxing in the way that mopping a floor is or digging a hole is. I dig holes a couple times a week just to just remember what it's like. And, it's not that bad. I dig it 6 deep and 6 wide. Digging a hole sucks. Yeah. I mean, I've dug a grave before. It sucks. Yeah. Well, wait, have you actually? Is that true? Chopping down a tree. Blows. Hold on. Bagging groceries. Hold on. If you think we're going to go past you digging a grave, you are sadly mistaken. You for real dug a grave? Yeah. What? You never dug a grave? No, one of my first jobs, my granddad hired me to dig his grave. While he was alive, he goes, I'm going to need a grave for when I die. Yeah. Was he sick? No, it was like 70 or something. Did he do that thing that you see in movies where like he takes a shovel and he goes, I want you to dig it deep enough that it's up to here on the shovel. No, he didn't do that. But I think I knew it was supposed to be about 6 feet. Yeah. I think I'd heard that. And Bugs Bunny had said that. Or something. Yeah, well, I go to him a lot too. Yeah. Did he pay you? Yeah. Okay. He paid me good. I mean, I was a kid, but I mean... he was like here are like 4 airheads and a sticker. Yeah. And he wanted me to have experience with working hard and it formed me. I was like, I want to do stand-up. You're like, if life is a lot of this, I'm going to try and do something that's work. Wait, did you? I want to say that you started stand up in Georgia, right? You started yeah. How did your first open mic go? Bad, very very bad. It went really bad. How bad is bad? Like bombed hard. I didn't prepare jokes. I didn't know that you had to do that. I was so ignorant. I thought I could just go up and be funny. I'm not even like a riffy comedian now. I usually do my jokes that I have prepared, and 90% of it's going to be very very prepared. Sure. And I just was so stupid. I was 19 and I was like, I'll just go up there and be funny like I am at lunch with my friends. And it just didn't work. I didn't have anything. Oh, no. And I was also scared. I didn't realize how scary it is to be up there. I didn't realize that you're looking at the crowd. Like I thought I'd be looking at myself on stage and I could control myself.
Like a video game.
I didn't realize. Yeah, I thought like that's how stupid I was. And then I was like, bright lights and then frowning faces is what greets you. Like somehow I thought they'd already be laughing a little bit, and I could just keep them laughing, but they're not. They're dead silent. And then I said something and they didn't like that. And then I could tell they were starting to go, he doesn't have any jokes. And they were right. Oh, and then I said, I'm sorry.
How long was it? Please tell me it was 3 minutes, but I feel like it wasn't.
It was five. And then I was like, hey, I'm sorry. I didn't have any jokes. This is my first time. I thought that might get like a clap.
I thought it would.
Nothing.
No, okay.
They were like, yeah. Hope you never do it again.
No.
Oh, it was bad. And I went with all my friends.
No.
Took all my friends. My friends didn't give me any pity laughs, no support, but they were right. I didn't have any jokes. I didn't have anything to laugh at. And then I didn't even live in Atlanta. I lived in Athens, which is an hour and a half away.
It's where the 40 watt is, I think.
I just sat in the back of the car and we all drove back.
In silence?
And it was bad. No one even goes, keep at it. Nobody. It was bad.
Wait, and you wanted to do another after that?
Well, I had to because I had to redeem myself.
Please tell me you wrote jokes for the second one.
Yeah, I wrote jokes.
But were they good?
No, they bombed again. And then I was like, well, so jokes don't work. The riffing doesn't work.
No.
Ah, boy.
You're like, I'm calling it, I think. And you're like, you called your dad. Can I preach? Is that an option for me?
Yeah. Well, I was like, I can't quit without it going good. I can't just bomb and quit. I have to have at least one good set. Took like 10 years.
No.
It took a long time. It took like a year. I haven't
seen it, but I'm sure you've done a good set.
Yeah.
I've not witnessed one.
There's no evidence.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, it took a long time.
Comedy Central even called me. They go, you're friends with them, right? I said, yeah. They go, why did we let him do that?
They're trying to take it back.
Yeah, what are they going to do? You know what I mean?
I don't know.
They're just going to, air another episode of Beavis and Butthead and just hope, cross their fingers. Or is that MTV?
I would honestly, if they just air Beavis and Butthead and just have my Twitter handle at the bottom, that's fine too.
I would be aces about that.
Yeah.
Or Office Space, they used to air a lot.
Yes. Saving Silverman.
Let me touch on Saving Silverman for a second.
I've never seen it.
You've not seen it?
No.
Did not age well.
Oh, no.
And it is widely considered probably like an objectively not a great film. I cannot not like it.
Well, you can't help it. It's like...
it's so stupid.
I still listen to Richard Nixon speeches. Can't help it. Which
one's your favorite?
Yeah. I like the one where he got caught. That was a good one.
Oh, yeah. That's crazy. I remember when they wrote that in the season, it was going to be the finale, but then it just kept going a little bit.
There's some fun. I'd say the bulk of conspiracy theories happened around the time of that Nixon was a powerful person, which is fun.
Is that actually true?
JFK lost to Richard Nixon. What happened to him?
Hold on, because now I'm like, I don't know a lot about...
Moon landing. Who was president during the moon landing?
Wait a minute.
Yep.
All these things are coming out of that. Do you think that the Nixon administration perpetuated all of these conspiracy theories?
I don't know. It might not even be Nixon, but what happened also? Watergate. He's the only president that ever quit. There's just a lot of weird, during that guy's life, he seems to be around a lot of crazy stuff. I don't know if he was the good guy and everybody was fucking with him, or if he was the villain and he was fucking with everybody. But it's crazy to me that so many of them kind of revolve around this guy was around. Picture of Bigfoot. Guess who's president when that picture of Bigfoot comes out?
Is that actually true?
Yes.
How do you know all this?
Well, I was up late the other night. And,
you're like, I can't sleep, and I'm going to look up conspiracy theories.
Crystal burgers and...
no, were you really?
Yes, I get the frozen ones and I pop them in the microwave.
Is there a conspiracy theory that you believe?
Something's up with JFK.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Like the way that he was...
The story we were told is, I just don't think so.
Interesting.
And I don't know why, but they're hiding something about it. One of my favorite theories is that one of the Secret Service guys was hungover, accidentally shot him.
Who was he supposed to shoot?
Well, he heard a gunshot, turns around, pulls out his gun, shoots JFK in the head.
Oh, goes, my Lord.
Oh, shit. And that's why people are like, there's two shooters. Why are they hiding all? And it's like, somebody was like, we can never let it get out that a Secret Service member accidentally shot JFK. He would have died anyway, but one of the bullets that we better hide came from a Secret Service guy who was hungover. That would explain a lot.
We were watching a show called Ghosted. It's about them working at a supernatural agency. Jess turns to me and thinking she knows what I'm going to say. She goes, do you believe in aliens? And without even looking at her, I go, yeah. And we keep watching. And she's like, I was like, yeah. She's like, I'm what? And I was like, let me tell you something. Earth makes up a tiny microcosm of the entire universe. Mm-hmm. a tiny microcosm. How arrogant is it to actually believe that this is the only place where life happened to exist? That seems crazy to me. And she was like, okay, so just doubling back here. So you believe in aliens. I was like, not like little green men everywhere, but do I think that there's the possibility of life out there? Hell yeah. And she was like, and I think she started reevaluating dating me.
Here's the thing. I believe at some point we're going to find life somewhere else.
Yeah.
And it's going to be bacteria. And we'll be like, oh.
You think everyone's going to be really let down.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, it's just fungus.
Oh, it's fungus.
Fungi spores.
Oh, it's a virus. Shit.
No, we already got that.
And then we're like, no, don't let the ship come back. I don't think it's going to be anything remotely cool.
So you think you're making a new George Clooney movie? They find a virus and now they can't come home.
Yeah. It's either going to be lame or something like that. Like shit. It's the worse than COVID and these astronauts are trapped. Anytime you think, I wonder, the cool option, it's not that. Hey, I wonder who's going to be the next president. The one you don't want.
Yeah. Well,
I think what it'll be.
I think that happened.
I hope my girlfriend's not mad. She is. She is.
She always is.
There's no way it's the cool option. It's just not how life works. If there's ghosts, it's the lamest thing ever. It's like a ghost of a tree. I just don't think there's like cool ghosts. I don't think there's cool aliens. It's probably bacteria.
Someone asked me if I believe in ghosts, and I was like, I don't know. And they're like, how do you not know? I was like, how do you know?
Right. There's lots of stuff I can't explain. I can't explain. If things that I couldn't explain were something, I mean, it's just that I can't explain it. I can't explain anything.
Well, I hate to say this, but I feel like you just really let us right in here. We're in our next segment. Cue the music.
Ooh.
We're in the Teach Me Something segment. A lot of people say that I have a lot to learn. I use this segment to do it. You can teach me anything. Could take 10 seconds. Could take 10 minutes. Preferably not. I don't have the attention span. What do you have for me?
Oh, I just found out some cool stuff about maps. You know the International Date Line?
I believe I've heard of it.
Here's what I didn't know shit about it.
I've heard of it.
Right when I was researching all that shit Nixon did.
There's so many better ways to fall asleep than what you're talking about, but yeah.
It's so creepy to me. I still don't get it. But you know the world's round. You knew that, right?
So they say.
It's round. Nixon flattened it out.
Ask Kyrie Irving.
Here's the weird thing. The international, like the time, it goes right through England where they're like, we're the most important. Noon here is the opposite side of the globe is midnight. So if you're on the opposite side of England on Earth, it's like 4 a.m. on a Tuesday. You go 10 inches over, it's 4 a.m. on a Monday. That blows my mind.
Walk me through that again.
It's the same time, but different days on the other half of that line. So you're literally, and it's in the ocean on the other side of England. And England picked this. They just got to pick what time it is everywhere.
Wait, why did England get to choose?
Because they're evil.
Okay.
And they were in charge of stuff and everybody just had to do what they said. So there was a meeting, like there used to be different times everywhere. It used to be like, it's 12:10 in Chicago, but it's 12:45 in Nashville. Like when no one had, the time zones were not hammered out until 110 years ago. Like it's crazy, dude. But I didn't realize that it's 4 a.m. on different days an inch away.
Well, that's not an inch, is it?
Yeah, it's a line. It'll be 4 a.m. on a Tuesday. You go 10 feet over, 4 a.m. on a Monday.
When you say 4 feet over, you mean looking at a globe.
Yeah. Isn't that I still don't get how of course it's got to be different days because when it's midnight, the sun's, but man, it makes my brain boil.
You have hurt me.
Yeah.
My brain is hurting a little bit.
Yeah.
That is
crazy.
Yeah. Because I remember I lived in Australia for a minute. And when I was there, it was the first experience I ever had where I was like, oh, if I just wait till tonight, I can call them tomorrow morning.
Isn't that bananas?
It was really weird.
Yeah.
I'd be like, hey, how's Tuesday? If I was on Monday, I'm like, how's Tuesday?
Right. And I always wonder with history, it's crazy because we didn't agree on what time it was or what day it was until very recently in our history. Like people were all over the map with what day and time they thought shit was.
That's so weird.
Isn't that wild?
This is making me think a lot. This is very confusing.
And that's why I'm so fascinated with maps is every line on every map is like a fight and a story. Like even the time zones, what day it is, what the borders are. Like it's crazy.
I often think about the debate about daylight savings.
Yes, God.
And I understand why it was originally done. I understand that for farmers and all that stuff. Get it. Totally get it. And I know there's a big divide here, so I'm not like telling anyone's wrong. I prefer daylight time. So I prefer when we are lighter later. Like I like that, it's still light out and 6 p.m.
I don't care for it.
Really?
I like when it gets dark earlier because comedy's better, movies are better, a lot of stuff's better. Sex, it's all better.
Okay.
You ever drink like a nice scotch during the daytime? Feels like shit.
I have no idea why I thought you were going to say milk.
Milk's better at night.
You ever have a glass of milk in the daytime? Feels like shit.
Oh, it's horrible.
Yeah,
no, I don't care much for daytime. You need vitamin D, but nighttime is my favorite. I like to write at night.
Jess and I were having this conversation recently. My most active hours, I do not know why I did not create this. The hours that I feel most productive are about 9 p.m. to 3 in the morning.
Yep, I'm with you.
But life as we know it is not structured to cater to people like us.
No, well, we don't matter that much.
No, not at all. But I think about it where Jess goes, well, if you didn't have work and whatever, if you were going out to the clubs doing your thing and then you come back, that's a fine schedule to have. And I said, it's still not, because let's say, for example, that's my schedule. If I need to make a doctor's appointment, call this, call that, drop off a package at the post office. You need to be awake during normal hours that the rest of the world subscribes to.
Yes, I agree. And I also don't, because why would I need to go to the post office?
I had to go the other day. I bought 2 sweatshirts that I thought I was going to look good in.
So early.
Are you taking it up with the post office right now?
The bank as well.
Listen, you heard it here first, okay? Y'all heard it here first.
You ever go to a bookstore? They close at like 2:30 in the afternoon. It's like, you should be lucky I'm here.
A bookstore?
Bookstores close so early.
I love that you're going to bookstores. Why are you going to bookstores?
It's fun, walk around. I like to get to a comedy club a little early. Mm-hmm. And I went to one the other day and I was like, ooh, the show's, the doors open in like 10 minutes. So I'll just dick around in this bookstore. I was like, it's closed? Why? Does it take one person to sit there and watch the bookstore?
Well, if the books have to use the bathroom or run around.
I just don't get why it needs to be closed. What's the overhead to keep this thing open at least till sundown? Like, we only open the bookstore for 45 minutes.
A really big company was opening up a very commercial bookstore across the street. And then that person needs to fall in love with the woman who runs the local bookstore.
It's such horseshit. Keep your bookstores open. Come on.
So just to be clear, I want to recap some of the people that we're against in this podcast. Mm-hmm. You were against the post office.
Yeah, mom and pop shops.
You were against those too.
I'm against small boutiques.
Okay, of all kinds.
No, I love bookstores, but please stay open longer. It's because I love you.
So you heard it here first. The only thing that Caleb likes is Amazon. That's what he wants you to buy all your stuff from.
Hey,
the conglomerate.
They are evil.
Sure.
Yeah. Are they the worst thing?
My favorite thing about Amazon is it's like, all right, we're going to go protest Amazon. All right, we got to make posters. All right, when do we need them? I don't know, at least 48 hours. All right, let me order these. We need wood sticks to put them on too, and markers. Get them all in the same place. It's fine.
Man.
How are you feeling? You ready to go to the lightning round?
Let's lightning this shit, dude.
Lightning round. We're going to lightning round. Cue the music. You don't need to be quick. I'm just going to ask you shorter questions.
Okay, sweet.
5 questions. I like to use an index card. Makes me feel like I'm a late night talk show host.
I love it.
What is a favorite ritual of yours? So mine is making tea.
I love to make my coffee for the next day. I like to make it at night so that all I have to do in the morning is press a button on my phone and the coffee starts making. By the time I'm downstairs, it's ready. That's probably my favorite.
Hold on just a brief minute. So I just want to make sure I'm understanding this. You're putting the grounds in the filter and everything. Mm-hmm. You put it in the machine, and your machine works with an app or something?
I got a smart plug. It's hooked up to my phone. I just press a button and the coffee starts making. It's great.
That's actually very cool.
But let me tell you, once you get used to that, and if you forget, oh my God.
You're like, I have to press the button with my own finger.
But when you're pre-coffee and you're kind of tired and you're and when your eyes is still blurry and you're I hate having to go get the coffee, put it in the thing because my brain doesn't even work yet. And there's so many times where I put the grounds in where the water goes. I pour the water in the trash can. I fucking,
yeah.
I'm just out of it. I'm not ready.
You throw the pot out the window.
Yeah, I peel a banana. I throw the banana in the trash and hold the peel, and I'm a moron.
I thought you were going to say, I peel a banana, I throw the peel out the window, the cars get in accidents, I throw a red shell,
Let me tell you, just go to Amazon, $5, get yourself a smart plug. If you have coffee made for you in the morning, it's just a game changer.
So you plug it in the smart plug, when the smart plug is off, you turn the coffee machine
to the on position.
So as soon as you hit the plug to go, it's already turned on.
Yeah,
So that's very cool.
Yeah, it's great.
I'm wondering how I can automate stuff more in my own house, not with like, Alexa, play, ham sandwich. I don't know why I said that, but you know what I mean?
Yes.
But like, I don't have an Alexa, but I want to figure out.
One.
Do you use an Alexa?
Yes.
For what?
Play music, play rain sounds at night, play white noise.
You're not scared that like sometimes if you're having a conversation and you're like, yeah, sometimes, when I pee, I cry. And then Alexa's like, sending this out.
Give it all away.
Interesting.
I don't care. Take my data.
By the way, I just want to be clear to the listeners. When I pee, I don't cry. I don't know why I said that. What? Question 2. We're moving on to question 2.
Rapid.
What is a running bit with a friend or partner that makes you laugh?
One of my favorite things is to say the wrong thing for someone's favorite thing. Like Jenny loves NSYNC, hates Backstreet Boys.
Oh, okay.
If there's an NSYNC song that comes on, I'll be like, and she forgets every time. And I'm like, oh my God, Backstreet's back. Or if you love...
Does she get so mad?
Yeah, she doesn't like it at all. My buddy Casey really likes this show. I think it's called Middletown, or it's one of those old Adult Swim shows. Okay. I legitimately never remember. I've said it wrong so many times, I can't remember the right name.
Sure.
Middle Street, Middle High. I used to know the name, but I always go, hey, I was watching Middletown, and it's not that at all. I just love to fuck up people's favorite thing and just say it wrong.
Oh, sure.
And it started because I love Billy Joel. And every time a Billy Joel song would come on, one of my friends would go, oh my God, Elton John's the best.
It's just trolling people. It's real life trolling.
If you let me know your favorite thing, I will fuck it up on purpose for the rest of both our lives. Mission Hill.
That's
the name of it. So I always, but...
I've not heard of that.
No, I hadn't either. But
there's a song that came out. It was called Dandelion, and I played it like 100 times when it first came out. I just was like, I cannot stand this song. And I would just randomly, like if we were in the car or something, like, oh, hold on, I'm getting a phone call. She's like, just pick it up. I'm like, fine. And it would just be me putting on Dandelion. I'd be like, it opens with Dandelion, and she would look at me like, turn that shit off now. And I would just like find random ways to bring it into the conversation.
Yes,
Trevor,
it's the best.
Crazy. Question 3: can you do an impression of one or both of your parents?
Yes.
Hit me.
I can do a pretty good dad. My dad will be like, I was listening to your podcast, and let me tell you, not bad. Not bad.
I thought you were going to have him be like, I didn't care for this, but he likes it.
Yeah, it's always surprising stuff.
Is he listening to Canceled, or
He finds everything in some way, and yeah. But yeah, my dad's like, he thinks about stuff, and he's very intentional. But yeah, it's always funny to me.
Has he heard all of your, like, I guess not all of your stand-up, but like your album, your late night appearance? Like he's seen that stuff. Mm-hmm. Does he like it all? Yeah.
At first he was, like way when I first started, and I was bad. Sure. He knew I was bad and was concerned.
As am I.
He didn't know how comedy, I think he was just like, if you're not good, you should stop.
Yeah.
But he was always supportive. But yeah, I think at first he was confused and didn't know what to say.
Does he ever look at you and go, I like that one particular joke?
Yeah. Oh, Ryan Connor got me the other day where he goes, oh, what was that bit? It was a great comedian after you're done thing. So I go back in the back and he's like, oh man, I love that one bit. What was that one bit you closed with? I love that bit. And I was like, the Bill Clinton bit? And he goes, no, not that one. No matter what you say. And he's like, oh, was it the one about school? No, not that one. That's just the funnest to do. I like that one bit. What was that bit you at the end? And just never say, it's always the other one.
Yeah. My favorite thing to do, you can only do this to comedians you're friends with. You cannot do this to comedians you're not, because it really messes with people. When someone comes off stage, you're like, hey, you know what? You'll get them next time.
Yeah. I love that. Great speech is fun to say after someone said, great speech.
Another one I did recently is I heard the audience wasn't hot for the opening comic either. And just like really do that. But if you do it to someone you don't know, I once said to someone genuinely, because the audience was being a little weird that night. I was being genuine. I go, hey, I'm really sorry that it's a weird audience tonight. And she goes, I thought I did great. And I was like, no. I also thought you did. That was not cool. I was like, Okay, question 4. Have you ever experienced imposter syndrome? And if so, is there a particular moment that comes to mind for you?
My theories are very like life. When people go, you always hear it with SNL is the one I hear the most. People go, when I walked into 30 Rockefeller and I thought of all the legends who roamed those halls and I thought I don't deserve. And I'm like, it's a sketch show. The funniest ones are when the fat guy dances. I mean, it's not like, it's great. I love SNL, but people act like it's this Mount Olympus. Oh, like Andy Samberg punching people that are about to eat. That's what it is. It's great.
I don't remember that sketch, but I wish I did.
It's very funny. But I'm like, people act like they gotta be like Oscar Wilde. And I'm like, it's a weekly sketch show. You dress up like the president. It's great, but chill a little bit.
And you don't, and so what you're saying is you bring that mindset so you don't really feel imposter syndrome much.
I feel like imposter syndrome is like, I get it if you're, you know who should have felt it? The president. Every president should walk in there and go, what? But like, that's about it. Everyone else, I'm like, you're either being falsely humble or you need to get a grip because this is, come on. No one in comedy should ever feel it.
I was telling Jess last night, like what, a lot of imposter syndrome is often like, oh God, like I feel like I don't deserve to be here. And I remember I said to Jess last night, I go, yeah, I feel like I'm not anywhere. So there's nowhere I don't deserve to be. I'm nowhere. And she was like, wow, that's sad. Yeah. For the president thing, the thing I always think about is I'm like, you need to be, yes, maybe Trump was a little stronger brand of crazy town, but you need to be a little bit unhinged if you're like, yeah, I think I deserve to be the most powerful man in the world.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You need to be a little nuts. Like if you think that you deserve to be president, I'm already like, you're a little weird. I don't know how much I love being around you.
Yeah, it's bananas.
Yeah, you could be a great president.
Crazy thought.
The fifth and final question. I often ask people if big tea drinkers, I say, what's your favorite tea? If you're not a big tea drinker, I say, what's your favorite comfort?
Well, that's probably the best tea I've ever had right there.
You enjoy the tea?
That was great. I love a pumpkin spice latte.
Me too.
Right when they come out, I enjoy, and I don't even know, I think it's bizarre. Like grilled cheese burrito, best thing Taco Bell's got. They take it away every year because they're stupid.
Why do they do that?
Because they're stupid.
I don't eat a lot of Taco Bell.
I don't go when it's not there. I'll see you when it's back.
You're like, I'll come back when it is back.
I just don't get it. And then Starbucks is, I'm like, I know you can find pumpkin flavoring. You can find it.
My favorite thing when I order a pumpkin spice latte is I go, can I get a pumpkin spice latte with oat milk? And they go, well, just so you know, the pumpkin spice syrup is not dairy free. I was like, if I wanted that information, I would have asked for it. Give me that pumpkin spice.
I don't care if there's alcohol in it and peanuts and asbestos.
Love it.
I get mad and I'm like, I'll be back when it's back, but I'm not darkening your door for your pistachio latte. What the fuck are you doing?
I am so embarrassed to say that I actually also enjoy the pistachio latte.
I do too. I had it last time I was there. But
what is darkening your door?
That's something I will not darken your door until you
So it's a southern expression.
I've heard, maybe it is. I don't know. I'd heard it. But.
My southern expression is really just foghorn leghorn.
Yeah.
I'm like, I see. When I was in high school, my senior year of high school, we did the play The Miracle Worker with Helen Keller. I was cast as the father. And looking back, I was really just doing Foghorn Leghorn. I was Helen, I'll get in here. Yeah.
And I was everyone does that. Everyone not from the South. Yeah. Dude, it makes me laugh so much. And you ever seen Big Fish?
Oh, yeah.
Dude, it's like... You're in like Greenville, South Carolina. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've been there.
Oh, they go deep south.
Like, well, welcome to Charlotte. And I'm like, no. I've literally never met someone that talks like that. I don't think I think maybe Confederate generals talk like that. Maybe.
Well, let's ask.
But
we have Lee on the wall over there.
The South my whole life, and no one. Hey, no. That's a fictional voice.
Molasses in my mouth.
Yeah, I
do declare.
No,
no one.
Dude, you and McGregor being like, well, hello, my name is shut the fuck up.
It's weird because that is how he pronounces his name, is blubbity boop. Blubbity boop.
Oh, it kills me.
That's the end of lightning round. How do you feel? You feel good?
Best podcast I've ever done.
You know what? And we're so glad to have you. Go check it out. Caleb Synan, Comedy Central. Listen to Canceled Pod. And what's it called?
What's it called? Hell yeah.
Featuring Caleb Synan. Thank you for coming, my man. I appreciate it.
Best day of my life.
Yes.
That was Caleb Synan. You can follow Caleb on Instagram and TikTok at Caleb Synan. You could follow him on Twitter at DumbCaleb. Go check out his Comedy Central Half Hour on the Comedy Central YouTube channel. Steep Conversations is produced and edited by Lucas Marshka. Our theme song and additional music are by Oliver Hymack. Our cover art was done by Neil Fraser with photography by Matt Mazisco. Social media by Dia Villegas. Please write a review and rate our podcast on Apple Podcasts and wherever else you can. You can send any questions, comments, newly friend game suggestions, or tea suggestions to steepcombos@gmail.com or tweet us at steepcombos. I'm Josh Lanzette, and you can follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook at Josh Lanzette. We'll be back next week, so until then, happy steeping.